Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Gruber Wired. I'm Mark Beach.
I'm John Dotson, and
we have Pete
And
here.
I'm Pete Gruber.
There we go.
Thank you for joining us, by the way.
Yes, it's been a while since we've had you.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a podcast, and I missed it. It's been like 4 months.
Oh, wow.
really?
Yeah.
time flies. It doesn't
Well,
seem
we're
like
glad
that.
we have you here.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
So, 2025. Wow, what a year.
It was a good year.
Interesting
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Interesting as far as what we've been able to do in, coming along with some of the new Neutrik cables, looking at some different types of custom cabling, especially working with, the liquid cooling version and so forth.
Immersion cooling, sure. And, we did some innovation this year. So, like you mentioned, the Neutrik cables, which are turning out to be pretty popular on the website. As a matter of fact, now there's another end to those that I'm talking with the Neutrik guy about, but it's an R1 version of that, which apparently doesn't have a lock on it. It's able to go in and it'll click, but it's retractable. So that way people don't lose the shell. They've re-engineered it. So I'm gonna get a couple, samples of those and see, what we've got going there, because somebody went on the website, was asking if we made them with the R1. So, there's still the RJ45 innards and Cat 6A, but just with a little bit of a modified internal part of the shell. So
Right.
very cool stuff. And I know, we're doing these test benches. So these 144 pin ends, 172 pin ends to, I think they're like 104 pin, but they have, what is that? What did I say?
170 something?
172. So that's 86.
Boy, that's a lot of
That's a
wires.
lot.
That's 86 of those. 86 of those pins are terminated.
Right.
It takes us about 5-6 hours to do each cable.
Very labor intensive. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but our people are right up to the task. I mean, Lee's got them humming. So good stuff. And I know you did some power cables with them as well. And
Yeah, we've done a lot of work on power cables this past year.
Right.
And I guess the point I want to get to is kind of the innovation of 2025.
Right.
Pete, you're the kind of the forefather of this, especially over in Gruber Motors and so forth with the companies. What have you seen over 2025 as far as innovation-wise?
Well, in the group that you guys are in, the comm group, the innovation now is beginning to move into robotics.
Sure.
And that's what we're all really excited about, because our company's DNA really is very much rooted in being innovative, staying on top of technology, and embracing it immediately,
Right.
rather than waiting until it's blindsided us and we're trying to scramble to catch up.
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We're doing some of these cable harnesses, right?
For the robotic,
Yep.
SwarmBot.
Yep.
And if you think about it, the technology is different, but the fundamentals haven't changed.
No.
It's still, you still have electrons flowing over copper wire and sometimes fiber, and you have data that's being transmitted, and all these new devices, the humanoid robots, the industrial robots, the military drones and bots, all of that needs the type of product that we've been assembling and
Right.
making for decades.
I mean, connectivity, copper, fiber, that's how they build it, right? So it's just variations on the same theme. You get a steak, right? I don't know if we have a picture, but you get a steak,
Yeah, right.
and you can just grill that steak, but then there are people who can turn a piece of meat into a masterpiece. And with all of the different ingredients and how you cut it and what you saute it in and all that. And I think that, we have the regular basic cable structures and things that are standard and, wash, rinse, repeat. But then really where I think our claim to fame is, as it were, is the ability to take drawings, take ideas, and turn them into reality.
Go from concept
Yeah.
to finished product.
Exactly. And I think that, that's what can set us apart. That's what has us on the map with a lot of customers, is that they will turn to us and go, hey, we have this, we need, 1,000 of them or whatever,
Sure.
and we can figure out how it's all set and turn it out. I mean, I had a guy that was trying to buy an extinct cable, gone the way of the dodo, right? We were able to figure out the pinout, make him 25 like that, and done. And the answer is usually not no, it's just how, right? So
Yeah, and like Pete was saying, it's going back to the basis root of everything. Like I had a gentleman, Albert, who came on the website this past week and was asking about a couple of our products that he had found out there. And when I got him on the phone and talked to him for a little while, we figured out what he was working on is he was working on old ham radios. And so the same basis, whether you're working on a ham radio or talking robotics, the basics are there. And it's a matter of, like you're saying, that transition across the board.
Yeah, moving electrons, across conductive surfaces fundamentally.
right.
And then you have the RF spectrum too. One of the things that I found interesting, I've been working for 4 months now on the websites. And that's one of the reasons, as we said earlier, I'm just not able to do podcasts right now, although I'd like to come in and be a guest at times. But what I found interesting is I am going through the websites currently, and I found a lot of product that is no longer out there.
Yeah.
And then I started to look it up. Things like biconic fiber connectors.
Okay.
Today I put an FDDI fiber connector out there. Then you have the coax type communication connectors, TwinX, the old IBM stuff,
Right.
the IBM data connector. Now, you might say, well, why should we put it out there if it's an obsolete technology? And in working on the websites, I have to go see what the competition's doing.
Sure.
And in so doing, I'm finding that the bulk of the business now is moving to places like Amazon, where you've got a rapid exchange, a plentiful product. You don't have high cost of delivering the product, But we tend to have a sweet spot with the legacy product. So that's why I'm putting that old stuff back out there. These days we're selling silver satin cables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old telephone
We
cable.
are. Yeah.
That's for the wall mount phones and the desk phones, and nobody uses that anymore, you think.
Right.
And if you go to Amazon to try to buy that, you're going to be hard pressed to find that old legacy product.
Right.
Yeah, I do a lot of that with FAA, especially Cat 3 telco.
Yeah.
They're still inundated with that because they just haven't changed their infrastructure.
Oh, the
And-
labs, like
Yeah.
Sandia Labs, for example.
Correct.
Oftentimes they'll have process equipment like on assembly lines, and it's way too expensive to upgrade, so they keep this old equipment running. Well, that old equipment happens to use old style cable technology,
Sure.
D-sub miniature, D-sub cables,
Yep.
Right.
And again, that's where we shine because we're able to continue to manufacture and to make that product for the customer's needs.
Right. I mean, I just got a call yesterday, and they wanted a quote on 100, 500, and 1,000. And these are cables they have been buying on Amazon, but they say they're not reliable. And they were just 6-inch, 6-wire RJ12 flat satin cables. That's
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, jumpers.
Yeah. And they just weren't able to continue to buy off of Amazon
Yeah.
like they had been. And, ours are, I'm like, yeah, no, absolutely, we can do it.
I think there are two things that make a difference with us. One is you have to have the correct tooling. And we still have, do you remember the 25 pair connectors for
Yes.
the
Yeah.
old telco,
Yep.
right? Those big butterfly things? We have lots of those. But the second thing that's most important is the knowledge on how to use it.
Yes. Yes.
We actually have a competitor that is that we're competing with for all the new data cabling products. They came to us for some legacy cables because they either didn't have the tooling to make it or they didn't have the know-how how to assemble it.
There you go.
Yeah, education, that's a key point, and understanding that we have, 40 plus years. I mean, you combine everybody together, we're talking hundreds of years of education,
Right.
across the board.
Right.
And that knowledge is sustainable with us.
Yeah.
We just don't lose it. We don't say, oh, go away and we're going to learn something new and we're only going to focus one direction.
Right.
And since we're talking about history, there's a third ingredient, which is when we first started the cabling division, making patch panels and old category, well, before category even existed,
Right.
it was basically voice being used for data type applications, but we're
Kinda like a
talking
DSL
slow.
kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, 9600 baud.
Yeah.
Really slow stuff. Well, the difference between then and now is back then we were hiring young guys from DeVry and High Tech Institute
Right.
who were looking for a career in electronics. And for them, working here was a stepping stone. It was very temporary. We had labor problems. We had attrition, and they just weren't excited doing assembly work. Then we shifted to a completely different labor pool. And as you guys know, our production workers, some of them are 30-year veterans here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The average tenure back there is probably 18, 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, esoteric knowledge that is acquired doing the job for that long a period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't have to show them twice.
No, and the fact that with all the innovation we're doing, they're up to speed. We
They're able
don't
to
lag.
adapt. Yeah,
Yes,
you're
they
right.
adapt. They're very adaptive.
Yeah, they're very adaptable. And you have to. I mean, the fundamentals, like you said, are the same. We're going to terminate a wire in some fashion. But the process of doing that hasn't changed. It's still either
Right.
solder or crimp or,
Right. Right.
splice.
I mean, yeah, and being able to extrapolate the historical into the future, it makes the learning curve very, very steep. They get there very quickly because it's, they have reference knowledge from, 15 years, 20 years past. And so they can go, well, yeah, we've seen something similar and this is how it worked and boom, 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 and done. Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like a cow staring at a new gate, right? It's like, what do we do now, right? But it all comes together.
Yeah, and I like how this discussion about the cabling also mirrors a discussion about our metal products as well. Mm-hmm. It's the same type of concept. The basis is still there. A piece of metal is a piece of metal. How do you want it bent? How do you want it shaped?
Right.
And work from there. And I've done a lot of work this past year innovating upon our metal products as we know it. Taking it like our standard set of rack rails and getting with the customer and saying, okay, we would like to see your rack rails, but let's tweak this. Let's do this. Let's move that. And it's just been very successful and able to work that way.
What I find fascinating too is where do the ideas come from? Where does the design come from?
Yeah.
Oftentimes it's our customers.
Yeah.
Sure.
They have a particular need. You guys carefully decide what the scope of work is, how to solve that problem, and then we come up with a product. And then oftentimes we realize that this is now marketable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's to me, it's the most exciting part of the job are the one-offs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, getting the opportunity to take a look at a drawing or hear about something that a customer needs and being able to meet that that's such a huge win at the end of the day because no one else is out there. And then it creates that relationship that it's a higher barrier to entry to interfere with our relationship with those people at that point.
Sure.
Because now we're there.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's great.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I got to tell you, that's the part I enjoy about this particular type of work is it's every day is something different. Mm-hmm. It's something new. A customer has a new need, and to be able to help out in that scenario and being able to, make sure that they're able to perform their task for their customer, because a lot of times we're working with the installers, to make sure the end user is pleased at the end of the day.
Right. And what we're tasked with too is not only being able to support legacy materials, but be able to anticipate where things are going next, and kind of discuss with our customers who are innovating, what are they looking at. And you talked about the robotics company and building those harnesses. This is really a first build for us, for them, right? And all of the detailed drawings, and let me tell you, not everything's perfect, right? This is a work in progress, and they even admit that design's going to change. And when we're looking at things, and Lee is so great back there because she identifies problems in their design,
Right.
or in how it's relayed, and it's been a great hand in glove working relationship because they understand that we understand, and that really gives them some peace of mind as things move forward.
Yeah. And, everything is always fluid. You can't stop. It can't become stagnant because
Right.
everything is, moving forward per se. Pete, one thing I know I wanted to ask you was coming through 2025 into 2026, what are you seeing as far as moving forward within the companies? What is your vision for the year per se, or goals that you're setting for Gruber Industries as a whole?
Sure. The Com Group badly needed a website overhaul. We have great services and products and capabilities, but we haven't done a good job of telling the story. So that's been my primary focus at this point. What that's going to do is open up a batch of new doors, and we also have to talk about the kind of tools available nowadays to go to market. There are fundamentals. You still have to pick up the phone and talk to a client and communicate about how to solve their problem. But then you have other tremendous tools like artificial intelligence.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm excited about is getting our visibility improved by working on the website so we have a good presentation, and the search engine optimization so that people know who we are and what we do. And of course, what we're doing here is part of that.
Sure.
Correct.
I found that doing this for 42 years, you always have to embrace new technology, and you have to do it rapidly. You can't wait and see how someone else does it and then try to copy them.
Right.
You have to be a trendsetter, and you're going to make some mistakes doing it. The question you had earlier, what are the plans for 2026 for Gruber Motor Company? I really have to address the history of Gruber Motor Company to explain our DNA and our culture in this company. For 35 years prior to starting Gruber Motor Company about 10 years ago, which services, by the way, for those of you unfamiliar, Tesla electric vehicles. It's a very technological concept. Cars have shifted from being low-tech auto. The only thing that makes them look similar is the four tires and the body sedan and the seats inside. The rest of it is completely different than it was, 10 years ago.
Sure.
What got us into that was, for 35 years at that time, we had been servicing and repairing critical power equipment. And it's very difficult as an independent to break into something like that because the OEMs hold all the cards. They have the parts, they have the schematics, they have the engineering drawings, they have the skilled labor that put the thing together, built it in the first place.
Right.
So what we learned to do very early on in order to be successful in the independent service industry is reverse engineer. We had to take their product and figure out how it works, do the bill of materials, what's on the boards, develop our own schematics.
Right.
And that is a rare skill. Not just anybody can do that.
Yeah.
So we hired the right people, we had the right teams in place, and we became very successful, and still are, in the independent critical power space. We have service agreements all over the United States. Fortune 1000, 100 type companies that trust us to fix the UPSs and the lighting inverters and the equipment in their data centers. Well, 10 years ago, when I bought that Tesla Roadster, somebody pointed out, hey, the technology in this is identical to what's in critical power. It's a three-phase inverter, and it has a battery system, a DC plant. The only difference is what it powers.
Right.
One drives the motors in the car, and the other one drives all your servers or powers all your servers in your data center. That was the genesis and the seed for Gruber Motor Company. We simply applied the same reverse engineering skills to the Tesla Roadster at the time. And Tesla was confused. Where the hell did these guys come from? How are they able to do stuff like this? And today, we're actually better at servicing their first generation cars than they are.
Oh, wow.
They send us boards for repair. They even sent a car out of Texas for us to repair.
Wow.
Very flattering, by the way.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it gets back to the fact that you have to be courageous. You have to identify new technologies and opportunities and just bite the bullet and start doing it.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that light bulb must have just went off immediately, I'm sure.
It did, and I was embarrassed that it took me a year to get that paradigm shift. Now, where are we going from here? 2026. Well, if you've noticed, our websites now have robots in them.
Yep.
Right.
We don't have a humanoid robot here yet that we can sell, that's in stock, that's in inventory, but we're aligning with vendors that are making this sort of product.
Sure.
And of course, all the accessories. Now, again, the synergy is going to be in that we're already rebuilding critical power battery packs. All day long, the guys over in the depot area are rebuilding APC packs and PowerWare Liebert packs. And these robots have the same type of DC storage inside their frames, right?
Right.
So I foresee that we're going to be very much involved in rebuilding the battery systems. And why are we going to be more successful at it? Because the OEMs are going to charge a lot more for that service and that product because they have enormous engineering costs and R&D costs that they have to recoup.
Right.
We don't have that problem.
No, not at all. Now, years ago, when this started to come to fruition, did you realize a symbiotic relationship across the board as it developed?
No. And what you have to, that's the other thing, that's the other gift being in business. You have to be open to opportunities and recognize them and then play out the synergies.
Yeah.
Now, if you notice, all of our 6 divisions, except for EVP, which is a Tessa Roaster storage facility, and Gruber Commercial Properties, which manages all our commercial buildings, everything else is technology-centered. And there are overlaps.
Right.
The beauty of your customer base in the comm group is that the power services group has the same customer base. That same IT manager that may be bringing us in to repair their UPS is going to need cabling products from your division.
Yeah. Right.
So again, synergy is very important. That's why we're not selling shoes or, getting into unrelated businesses.
Yet.
Well, yeah.
I'm just waiting for the hoverboards. That's what I want to see.
right?
Yeah.
But one time, didn't you purchase some ducks? You bought some rubber ducks, didn't you?
Tell me that story. I don't remember that
I
one.
thought that there was a rubber duck race, where they buy thousands of ducks and throw them in a river.
No, don't remember
I
that.
remember a story coming around that we did that at one point in time here.
Okay.
Yeah, just
I
throwing the
wasn't
duck
here.
race out there.
Well, I know they do one, it's around the New Times 10K or whatever,
Yeah.
and they do a great rubber duck race.
Yeah.
Yeah. It used to be, I don't know if it was KUPD or KZZP or one of the radio stations put it on first, and then they've done it every year. And whoever's duck gets there first.
They win.
We are very quirky. We do things, differently oftentimes. Like this room we're sitting in. When we do construction, we put time capsules into the walls.
Yeah.
In fact, that one right there.
I know. I put a picture of Gary Busey in that wall.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll probably still be alive, whatever.
Maybe.
But it's part of our culture. It's part of the fun that we have here.
That's something that I want to say. We do have a lot of fun here.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very fun place to work.
I agree. I think aside from being interested in the technical aspects of the job, I think that, after 20 years of doing other things with my life, with businesses and
Corporate
things.
America. Feel free
Well,
to say.
no. I worked from home.
Oh, from home even.
And,
Okay.
and I absolutely love coming into the office and not just the group resources that we have and how we, bounce ideas off each other and all that, but just the camaraderie, all on the same mission, at different stages, in different directions sometimes, but all the mission is the same. And it really is to me, it's a great thing. It's one of the, big motivating factors for me is just being able to have that pool, that resource pool, and the friendships that develop from it.
There's an interesting concept in the 70s that was floating around for management training, which was the Theory X and the Theory Y strategies. Theory X fundamentally says that employees are lazy, you have to stay on top of them constantly, and they're not going to give you something unless you really push them hard. Theory Y is the opposite. Create the environment within which employees can flourish and grow.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that everybody is going to, be successful with that.
Right.
And those are usually the people that end up leaving here. But the ones that get it, that see that they can build their business within these businesses,
Yes.
and that enjoy learning new things, growing, committing to something. That's the Theory Y atmosphere.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that I started the company with that in mind is I came from corporate America. I worked for Digital Equipment Corporation, which at the time was the number 2 computer manufacturer in the world. They were making big mainframes right behind IBM. And it was quite an education.
Sure.
So these companies that we've evolved here subscribe to a different methodology and a different culture.
Yeah, and I like the culture, and I like the aspect that no matter what I'm doing, if I come across a puzzle to solve for a customer and I don't have all the pieces, I can pick up the phone and call you, Pete. You're always there for us.
Or Christopher Such, or Gary Toon,
Yes.
or Steve, Robinson. We've got so much talent here.
Correct. And that's why my point is we have mass resources available just on our floor.
Yeah.
And it's just great.
And they're incentivized to help you because nobody loses anything when they help someone. In some companies, that's not the case. You
That's
make
true.
somebody else successful, and that might diminish the brightness of your light.
Right. Life's not a zero-sum game. It's plus plus all the way around. It's not take from one to have. It's, build each other up in a plus way. And they call it win-win or whatever, which is kind of cliche-ish, but
But it's true.
but there's a scarcity mentality and an abundance mentality. And I think having an abundance mentality is a lot happier of a place to be.
Looks like we got some questions.
We do. Let's see here. Major Tom says, what is one decision Gruber is making in 2026 that will matter 5 years from now?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
profound question, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Thank you, Major Tom. I would say that it's related to the insertion and introduction and adapting to artificial intelligence.
Yeah. I could see that.
That would be my take on that.
In fact, we're working on that right now with some new software programs that we're going to implement here towards the end of the year going into 2027, correct?
Absolutely. We, being a technology company, of course, we are embracing artificial intelligence with all its capabilities. We make it available to all the employees. We have some real expertise here in-house that have gone much further down the road than most of us with AI. And it's a fascinating time to be alive. And then, of course, you have the robotics angle. Most people are afraid of that. It's going to take my job. Well, you better, think about what kind of work you're doing then. Adapt,
Right.
The amount of change that is happening right now on the planet is exponentially more than it's ever been in history. And adapting is how you maintain.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. I mean, you're right. It is going from 0 to 100 just like that. So that educational process, have you seen lag in that process of adaptation?
With our employees, I would say that they have enough resources in-house and they're technically savvy enough to where I don't think we're going to have an issue. It's like I say, it's an exciting time to be alive. If you're in technology, especially.
Sure. Anything that can enhance the process, because right now we might be doing things in 10 steps that'll take 1 step, right? We might be doing it, but we're spending a lot more time doing it, and bringing it together in kind of a unified platform is really exciting. It's something that with the innovations that are happening, I mean, you look at what AI is doing now and how it's being used in business. I think that, as an example, there was a customer who gave us a check, right? And the written dollar amount was wrong, was different than the numbered amount, right? Well, I'm going to bet you dollars to donuts that Chase Bank has AI look at that and automatically shoot out when there's a mismatch. I don't think a person's sitting there scanning those.
No.
I bet you money that's what's going on. And that's just one example, but AI is being incorporated in a lot of different ways across the spectrum. And I think it
goes back to where people are scared of the unknown. They're just not understanding yet what this is. I look at AI, look at the robotics as it's going to be a tool, an extension of what I can do, not take over me or take my position or my job.
Right.
It's going to create opportunities for us.
Right.
It's an augmentation.
Yeah.
Makes us more powerful.
I think
It's like Lee Majors, the Bionic Man. Remember the eye?
yeah. Well, it should. You always should use stuff like that to enhance your skill set. I still write. I like to write, but I use AI to polish it.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect.
So I still get my chops in on paper, but then but at the end of the day, polishing it up because everybody writes in habits. You have habitually a way to say things that maybe when AI gets involved is going to reframe how you say it, not change what you're saying, but get you out of some of the habits that you're in.
It's like polishing your car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So using the tools to do things like that, to create images. I know you've created some fantastic AI images, and when ChatGPT and all the different AI tools that are used to create graphics, you were out there, I know, generating different things and showing them, putting them on the podcast and whatnot, and how it thinks when you give it words, sometimes it doesn't come out like you think, but it's cool, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm interested to see where it's going to
Yeah.
lead us in the future because we're just at the beginning of this.
yeah.
Oh yeah. With sentience just around the corner, where AI actually becomes aware and begins to create. Now we're gonna take a back seat and say, wow, look at this thing run. Look at all of the medical issues that it can solve, and
Right.
already is beginning to.
And that's another thing. It's going to correlate information that a human could not.
Yeah.
Because it's going to have the sum of knowledge out there, not what this person has seen and knows, and this person has seen and knows. It's going to take all information and come up with a recommendation. And whether it's pharmacology or, different types of treatments that might not have been thought of before, or diagnoses, right? It's gonna know a lot better sometimes than especially a doctor just out of med school or looking at that's great stuff.
The systems and the concepts that we take for granted as being gospel, it's attacking those as well. There was just within the last week, Claude, I think, was asked to solve a mathematical problem, and Claude came back and said, your math system is flawed. There's a new math that it is acquainting us with now. We take a lot of things for granted. Physics, for example, there are limitations. Gravity, for example, we haven't figured that one out yet.
Right.
Well, I think it's going to teach us many new things that we hadn't even considered. The thing that I find funny is people forever have been concerned about the aliens coming to the planet, right? Aliens. Well, guess what? We created the aliens. It's AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it didn't have to have a physical body. We tend to anthropomorphize things like aliens. They're going to look like us, 2 legs, 2 eyes, mouth, certain height, legs, all of that, right?
Yeah.
Nonsense. They could be microscopic. They could be living on the atoms on this table.
Right.
Or a
And
macro scale where we're one tiny little subset of this gigantic,
Organism,
entity,
yeah.
organism. Yeah.
Yeah, that can just go anywhere. Wow.
Time goes by pretty fast.
It does. Once again, we're at the end of the show, just like
Oh,
that.
I didn't realize
And
that.
we get talking and it just goes.
I hope I didn't monopolize the show
No,
here, guys.
no. This is great. Yeah, no, we're a half an hour format now, so it tends to go pretty quickly. Everybody, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this podcast. We're here because you're here. We're here every Thursday, 3 p.m. Arizona time. We appreciate you and thank you for attending today. And Pete, thank you for
Yes,
being
Pete.
here. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, guys. Really, and
it's
the
fun.
audience too.
You
Thank
bet.
you.
Thank you.
I want to do a shout out really quick here. If there's anybody out there in the Phoenix area or just in general that's looking for employment, please take a look at us. Come say hello. We have great opportunities here at Gruber.
And I have to ask you a question. Do you put Worcestershire sauce on your duck?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do
All
not.
right.
No,
All right.
no.
You're welcome.
Got that duck joke for Oregon Ducks. I got
There
you.
you go. All right. Well, thank you. For now, I'm Mark Beach.
I'm John Dotson.
I'm Pete Gruber.
Have a good one.